Good morning, everyone. This is Orna Rana here, your social science teacher from Cambridge International School, Dasua. I hope you all are safe at your home. Dear children, I am here again with my next session. But first of all, recapitulate whatever we have discussed earlier. Chapter 2, On the Trail of the Earliest People. In this chapter, we have discussed about the hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers were the person, those who lived in the subcontinent about 2 million years ago. They hunted wild animals, caught fish and birds, gathered fruits, roots, nuts, seeds, leaves, stalks, and eggs for their food. These hunter-gatherers, they kept on moving from one place to other place because of the following reasons. Number one, firstly, they would have eaten up all the available plant and animal resources, so they need to move to find some other plants and animals. Number two, they also chase animals for their food, and the animals they also kept on moving from one place to other place in search of their prey or grass. Number three, they also move from one place to other place in search of different kinds of seasonal plants. Number four, they also move from one place to other place in search of water resources. Dear children, these are the four main reasons that the early man kept on moving. Now our next topic is stone tools. The archaeologists have found various sites from where they have found the different types of stone tools. But how the early man was using them? These tools were used to cut meat, bone, scrape bark and hides, chop fruit, roots and wood. And dear children, we have also discussed about the techniques of making the stone tools. I hope you people have remembered those. Number one, stone on stone technique, and number two, the pressure flaking technique. That's all about the previous lesson. Now, dear children, now today we are going to discuss about the different sites as well as the different stone ages. But first of all, let's discuss the lesson's objectives. Today's lesson's objectives: to know about the different sites. Number two, to know about the different stone ages. Number three, to know about Hangsi, the Paleolithic site. What will be the lesson's outcomes? At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to know about the different sites. They will be able to know about the different stone ages. They will be able to know about Hanski, the Paleolithic site. So let's start our today's lesson with this video.
The early men. All of us would be aware that the early men roamed the earth around 2 million years ago, who are now referred to as hunter-gatherers. They owe their name to their ways of hunting for food. They usually hunted wild animals, gathered fruits, vegetables, roots, and leaves. They also caught fish and birds for food. It proved the fact that gathering plant produce was an important means of obtaining food. The early men were tailored to rough it out in the wild. They had the necessary skills of alertness, agility, and presence of mind, which enabled them to catch the fast-running and sometimes dangerous wild animals. These prehistoric people often moved from place to place due to four main reasons. They are: 1. The early men moved to another place when all the food resources have been exhausted. In search of new animals and vegetation, they traveled elsewhere to find food. 2. The early men mirrored the migration patterns of wild animals in search of food to ensure that they do not get separated from their own source of food. 3. Since different plants are bound to bear fruit in different seasons, the early men have also moved places according to the seasons. 4. The early men moved to places where there was sufficient water, often camping close to seasonal or perennial lakes, streams, or rivers. Another reason why the early men were vagabonds could also be the need to stay connected with other people, namely relatives or friends. The prehistoric people always traveled on foot until the discovery of pulling carts. The very first experts who confirmed the existence of the early man happened to be archaeologists. The prehistoric tools and things used by the early men proved to be invaluable in the discovery and study of their lifestyle. Many of the tools made out of bone, wood, and stone have survived over the centuries, helping us understand the ancient ways of living of the Stone Age men. Stone tools used by our ancestors were extremely important. These tools enable the people to hunt, cut bones and meat, chop wood and fruits, and scrape bark from the trees and hides of the animals and dig the ground for roots. Wood was chopped to make fire and to build huts. There were also special tools which were used to stitch together animal skins to make clothes.
Dear children, I hope this video has helped you to understand the today's topic. Now we are going to discuss about the hunter gatherers. They always lived near to the sources of water such as rivers and lakes. These were also called sites. It is a place where early man had lived, which provide information and materials about the past activities. The archaeologists have found the three types of sites. Number 1, habitation sites. Number 2, factory sites. Number 3, habitation cum factory sites. Now let's start discussing about these one by one. So our first site is habitation sites. Dear children, as we know the meaning of the word habitat. Habitat means the home or the shelter. So these were the areas where early men have lived. These include caves and rock shelters. For example, Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. Now there is one question for you people. Why people chose natural caves as their habitation site? I hope you know the answer. People chose these natural caves because these provided shelter from the rain, heat, and wind. Now our next site is factory sites. As the name suggests, factory. Factory means the working area, the area where something is manufactured, prepared. So what the early men had prepared? They have prepared the stone tools. So these were the areas where early men made the stone tools were called as the factory sites. They chose those sites as the factory sites where they found the stone in abundance, because it's very difficult to carry the stone from here to there. So they always prefer those areas as their factory sites. The archaeologists have found some remains of stone chips and leftover stones and they came to the conclusion that these areas have been probably used as the factory sites by the early men. Dear children, now our next site is habitation cum factory sites. As the name suggests, it's the area where these people were living as well as they were making their stone tools. These sites were serving the two purposes. One, it is the habitat of the early man. Second, it was their working place also. So, dear children, that's all about these three different sites. First was the habitation site, second was the factory site, and the third was the habitation cum factory sites. Now, let's move forward towards our next topic, that is the Stone Ages. But first of all, it's very important to know what are the Stone Ages. Archaeologists have divided the ancient period into different categories on the basis of the uses of stone tools. So, the first age was the Paleolithic Stone Age. The second was Mesolithic Stone Age. The third was Neolithic Stone Age. So, let's discuss about these stone ages one by one. So the first age is the Paleolithic Stone Age. As the name suggests, Paleolithic. Paleo means old, lithic means stone. So we can call this Stone Age as the Old Stone Age. It started from 2 million years ago till 12,000 years. It is divided into three different periods: lower, middle, and upper. It covers 99% of the human history. Dear children, here is one video. I hope it will help you to understand this Paleolithic Stone Age. So let's watch this video.
The Stone Age was the period during which stone was the most widely used material for making tools and weapons. Based on the types of tools used, the Stone Age can be divided into three periods. These are the Paleolithic Age or the Old Stone Age, the Mesolithic Age or the Middle Stone Age, and the Neolithic Age or the New Stone Age. Further divided into three periods: lower, middle, and upper. The names of these periods are based on the depths at which remains belonging to these periods have been found. Paleolithic man lived in caves and rock shelters. He was a nomad who wandered from place to place in search of food. He did not know how to produce food. He survived by hunting wild animals and birds, fishing and gathering wild plants, berries, nuts, roots and tubers. Hence, he is called the hunter-gatherer. Paleolithic man realized the advantages of living in groups. It enabled him to hunt large animals and to share food which was scarce and decayed easily. It also provided security against natural dangers. Groups were not very large. There were no inequalities, nor were there any family ties within the group. Average lifespan was only 20 to 25 years. Finished and unfinished Paleolithic artifacts have been found at several sites where raw materials for making such artifacts are also found in plenty. These were probably factory sites where artifacts were made on a large scale. At some sites, ash and animal remains have been found along with artifacts. This suggests that people worked and also lived at these sites. These were habitation cum factory sites. Paleolithic tools were usually made by chipping stones. Stone tools were of two kinds. Core tools were made by chipping off pieces from chunks of rocks or hand-sized pebbles. The stone left after chipping is called core. Core tools were usually oval or pear-shaped. They were mostly used as hand axes for heavy work like cutting trees, digging the earth for roots and tubers, and breaking molds. Some were used as cleavers for cutting large pieces of meat. Flake tools were made from the sharp pieces or flakes that broke off while shaping core tools. These were useful for chopping meat and skinning animals. Remains of ash at some Paleolithic sites led to the conclusion that fire was known to Paleolithic man. Paleolithic remains have been found at many places in the Deccan such as Pune, Nasik and Chirki Nivasa in Maharashtra, Hunsgi in Karnataka and Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh. In the next video, we will talk about the Mesolithic age. Till then, it's bye-bye.
I hope you have enjoyed this video and it has helped you people to understand the Paleolithic Stone Age in a better way. Now next is our Mesolithic Stone Age. Meso means middle, lithic means stone. So we can call it the Middle Stone Age. It started from 12,000 years ago till 10,000 years. And the tools which were used in this period were known as the microliths. Micro means very small, tiny small stone tools. So these tools were attached to the handle of bones or wood to make some other tools. It was a Mesolithic Stone Age where there was a sudden change in the environment, and this also helped to grow the grasslands in different parts of the world. And this grassland has increased the number of grass-eating animals, and later on it has helped these hunter-gatherers to become the farmers and herders. Let's watch this video to understand this Mesolithic Stone Age in a better way.
Mesolithic age, also called the Middle Stone Age, brought about a change in the lifestyle of Paleolithic period. During this period, the climate of the world was getting warmer, which led to an increase in the variety of plants and animals. Hunting and gathering food became easier and human survival rate increased. Mesolithic people learned to hunt in groups and to fish. They also learned to domesticate plants and animals. Dog was the first animal to be domesticated. Later, they started domesticating sheep, goat and cattle. Gradually, they became herders and farmers. They started growing crops like barley and wheat. Man's main occupation remained hunting and gathering food, but his tools improved gradually. Stone tools were now made from microliths, tiny chips of stone blades. They were then stuck onto handles and bones or wood to make saws, axes, harpoons and fish hooks. Fishing became popular and fish became an important food item. The bow and the arrow were invented during the Mesolithic era. Most of them lived in rock shelters and caves. They moved seasonally following animal movements and plant changes. In many places, settled communities were found near coasts and in river valleys. Houses varied from round to rectangular and were built on wooden posts around a central hearth. In India, Mesolithic remains have been found in Mysore and parts of western and central India. Mesolithic people painted pebbles, stone beads, pierced shells and teeth. Small sculptures carved from stone and clay have also been found. Red and white were the main colors, which were made from rocks and naturally available material. The paintings tell us about the various activities of the Mesolithic people. The first clay pottery was used as food storage. Many Mesolithic burials have been excavated in central India. They believed that the dead needed food in the next life and thus buried the dead with microliths, animal bones, jewelry and food. The Mesolithic age, which lasted from 10,000 to 8,000 BC, transformed the hunter-gatherer to a farmer. Let us now move on to the next age, to the Neolithic age. Thank you.
The Neolithic Stone Age. As the name suggests, Neo means new and lithic means stone. So it is the new stone age. In this stone age, the tools which were prepared, they were different from the Paleolithic and the Mesolithic period. This period extends from 10,000 years. We are going to discuss about this Neolithic Stone Age in our next chapter. Now, our next topic is Hansgi. It is a Paleolithic site. As you can see in these maps also, where is Hansgi located? It is located in Karnataka. It was a Paleolithic site. It was used as habitation cum factory site was the early man. The archaeologists have found various types of stone tools here. The stone which they used for making the tools was limestone. So dear children, that's all about today's session. I hope you all have enjoyed it. Let's recapitulate. Firstly, we have discussed about the different types of sites: habitation sites, factory sites, habitation cum factory sites. Then we have discussed about the three stone ages: the Paleolithic Stone Age, the Mesolithic Stone Age, and the Neolithic Stone Age. Then we have discussed about Hansgi, the Paleolithic site which was found in Karnataka. That's all about today. So do the reading of the chapter properly, try to do the worksheets, read out the handout. See you soon in my next session. Take care, have a nice day.